we spent so much time making sure we had so much more inventory. That's why we took the time, and you guys are doing it again. We're nearly sold out on everything, and I can't believe it. Even flower sprinkles, which I knew was going to be the big one again, so that has more inventory than all of it. And that's also about to sell out. So I was looking at my iMessage and I thought, okay, I love this feature, and I never thought of it like, is it confetti or is it flower sprinkles? Thanks, everybody.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel where we speak openly, call out media spin, and defend fairness and common sense. If you're tired of watching the same old headlines attack Harry and Meghan day after day, you're absolutely in the right place. And if you believe people should be free to live their lives, pursue their passions, and raise their families without this constant barrage of negativity, go ahead and subscribe, because today we need to unpack yet another example of how far the British tabloids will reach in their ongoing obsession with Meghan Markle. Now here's what we're being told is the latest outrage. Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, has officially launched her new lifestyle brand, As Ever. And the supposed controversy? The first products, jam and flower sprinkles, will initially be sold only in the United States. That's it. That is apparently headline-worthy. And according to the usual suspects in the British tabloids, it's been twisted into some grand insult to Britain. She's being accused of snubbing the UK for no longer prioritizing British buyers. Let's stop for a second and apply some logic. Meghan lives in the United States. Her family life, her work life, it is all rooted in California. When any entrepreneur launches a new brand, particularly in the lifestyle and food space, it is entirely normal. It is actually smart to begin in your home market. That allows for a controlled launch, simplified logistics, proper supply chain management, and ensures the brand can scale gradually and responsibly. It is not personal, it is not political. It's called good business. And yet, despite this simple reality, the British media would have you believe this is a calculated slight, a personal insult to Britain itself. I mean, honestly, we're talking about jam. We're talking about flower sprinkles. But because Meghan is the person behind it, they will take any opportunity, no matter how small, to try and paint her in a negative light. And here's something else that's obvious. Even if Meghan had launched these products globally on day one, they would have found another way to criticize her. If she had prioritized UK buyers, the headlines would have accused her of trying to cash in on the British public. If she had ignored the UK completely, they'd say she was bitter or ungrateful. In other words, no matter what choice she made, they would twist it. That is what's really at play here. Not a story about jam, but a story about a media ecosystem that has become dependent on constant negativity toward Meghan Markle. They simply will not allow her to move on, to thrive, to create something of her own, because her success challenges the entire narrative they've spent years building. Now let's look at the double standards here. When Kate Middleton launches a public campaign, such as the Early Years Foundation, she's praised. No one asks why her initiatives are UK-focused. No one questions why the public pays for her events and staff. No one frames her work as a snub to anyone. When King Charles built Duchy Originals, now a major organic brand, no one accused him of excluding international buyers. No one spun it as a royal slight. In fact, he was praised for being an entrepreneur. But when Meghan Markle launches a private, self-funded lifestyle brand with a phased product rollout, somehow that is worthy of negative front-page treatment by the British tabloids. The hypocrisy couldn't be clearer. And let's go deeper. What is As Ever really about? It is about Meghan creating something that is hers, something that is authentic, rooted in her values. She's taking ownership of her public identity. She is choosing to create, not fade away. She is not selling scandal, not profiting off the monarchy, not leaning on royal titles. She is building something tangible, artisanal, carefully made, ethical, with no handouts and no public funding. Frankly, this is exactly what critics said they wanted. Meghan and Harry have stepped back from royal life. They are earning their own income, building their own future. They are no longer drawing on UK public resources. And yet, even when they do exactly what was demanded of them, the same critics attack them anyway. That's because it was never really about their choices. It was always about maintaining control over their image. And that's the other layer of the story. Meghan Markle represents something many in the UK press and establishment dislike: a woman who refuses to be controlled, a woman who speaks on her own terms, a woman who is confident, entrepreneurial, and unwilling to be silenced. That is the true offense here, not a jar of jam, not a flour sprinkle. The other thing we need to call out is how utterly disproportionate this media reaction is. Look around Britain. There are real issues: cost of living, NHS struggles, housing shortages, international crises. And yet, somehow, the sale of Meghan's jam in the US instead of the UK is what dominates the headlines. Think about what that says about the priorities of these British tabloids, because the truth is, some of them need Meghan and Harry more than ever. The royal family, frankly, is not generating much positive news these days. The king's image is stagnant. Kate Middleton remains largely out of sight. Prince William's PR hasn't exactly been winning hearts either. And so, the one guaranteed source of engagement remains Meghan, which is why, even though she left, they won't let go. It is profitable to continue attacking her. And that's why you're seeing these breathless headlines about a business decision that should be entirely unremarkable. But let's turn to what this really says about Meghan herself. She is living her life, raising her children, launching creative projects, building businesses, producing content. She is doing everything that any public figure would be encouraged to do, taking the opportunities she has earned and using them to create something new. And she is doing it all without bitterness. You won't see Meghan giving interviews complaining about the UK. She is focused on the future, not on past grievances. If anyone is still clinging to bitterness, it is the British tabloids and media commentators who simply cannot accept that Meghan is happy and successful without them. And on a more human level, can we talk about how tired this storyline is? For years, Meghan has been vilified in the British tabloids, not for any real wrongdoing, but for daring to be a confident, mixed-race, independent woman in an institution that was not ready for that. She and Harry chose to step back, create a new life, and now, even the most harmless project is still being turned into scandal. At what point does the public say, "Enough. Let this woman live her life"?